Women's normalized sexual marketplace value peaks at 18 years old.
That's an incredibly creepy thing to say. When does it start rising? Before they turn 18?
And drops precipitously from that day forward. It never rises again.
To who exactly? Is this a consensus? Is this statistics and surveys out of Trust Me Bro University? Was it written in the Constitution of the United States or the fucking Constitution of fucking Australia? Do the Council of Women agree with this sentiment? Is this how all men think? And if they don't, you're desperately trying to shame them out of thinking that way to validate this?
Men's normalized sexual marketplace value is lowest at 18, gradually rises up until about 40.
It's only the consensus and belief of creepy predatory men who wish to normalize dating women half their age, in which those very women have barely legally been an adult for that long. I wonder why this man's interested in promoting the message that a man's sexual market peak is at 40.
Remains constant for about another 20 years.
We're just making shit up at this point. More shit has come out of this man's mouth in this video than out of a cow's asshole. Of course, this hypothesis will be skewed in men's favor. That's not suspicious at all.
And then slowly declines into old age.
Yeah, you'd be amazed about how many 18-year-old women that I meet, the first thing they want to do is shack up with a 60-year-old.
It isn't until 30 years old that the average male sexual marketplace value exceeds the average woman's sexual marketplace value for the very first time.
This man is supposedly a licensed psychologist with a master's degree and a doctorate in clinical psychology. And yet he speaks like he did his entire thesis on manosphere rhetoric, perpetuating a shallow outlook on romantic relationships. Men only care about looks. Women only care about money and status.
This means that women's default action is to act.
Yeah, women, you have to get a man in his 40s when you're 18. That's your best option.
All things being equal, they will never be in a moment where they can demand the relationship they want from the man they want to have it with than today.
Well, isn't that a lovely sentiment? How dare you have demands and expectations and standards for what you will tolerate in a relationship?
Because for the vast majority of women, this is when they're going to have their highest valuation in the sexual marketplace.
What makes you think you're entitled to that? You're over 18. You're past your sexual market peak. It's simple bro statistics. The more that you age, the less effort I'm going to put in this relationship. Does that include when you're in the relationship with the 18-year-old? As you both age, your effort is going to diminish and then you're going to blame her for it? What makes you think you're entitled to the effort I was putting into this relationship when you're 18? You're now 22, you old cow. You should be grateful I'm still with you.
So their default is to act.
They would only have to act if they actually were convinced that dating a man who thought like this was appealing. As we've seen with these men, there's nothing appealing and likable about any of them, which is why they focus on their looks, having lots of money and status. And if your only interest is being in a shallow, empty, transactional relationship, yeah, that might be appealing. Also poking at women's fears and insecurities about potentially never finding a partner and starting a family, so they wind up settling in relationships with dog shit men. Apparently just becoming a better man that's worth women's time is not a possibility for these men. I think the biggest struggle that men are going to face at this point is to try and convince women to date us at all.